If at first you don't succeed, you try again. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here this morning, joining me. Hi, Barbara. Peace and love to all my friends. I'm Peter Panagore, MDiv, a 2-time near-death experiencer, ex-clergy, and this is not church. No doctrine, no dogma, or Bravo Sierra. Hello to my friends who are here today. I'm looking at the chat over there. Thanks for watching, everybody who's watching it not live or recorded. Your comments, likes, and subscriptions help this niche mysticism channel grow. Now, have you had or want a spiritual awakening, but maybe meditation isn't your thing, or it's not enough? Surprisingly, I need more myself than just meditation. So today we're going to talk about the 4 main branches of yoga: karma, raja, jnana, and bhakti, and their direct relationship to traditional Christian mystical practices, and why, following my first NDE, I found them valuable enough to practice all of them since 1980. Now, I talk a lot about meditation, Kriya yoga, and Kundalini, but there's more practice in daily living besides those things that will help you on your spiritual journey. It's helped me on mine, and it's helped countless others. So let's pause just a moment to center in. Being present with each other. So do you seek a doable spiritual practice to grow your direct connection to light? Now, following my first NDE in 1980, feeling quite alone as an avatar in the wilderness of this beautiful hellscape world, I feared losing my connection to the uncreated light that was waterfalling inside of me and flooding brightly through every created object in the world around me. What should I do? Where should I look? How should I choose? Reason told me to look in the ancient books, and figuring that ancient practices handed down were the most trustworthy and useful. Immediately after my first NDE, I toured the Western United States for 3 months in the theater of Theater of Silence in American Sign Language, a performance troupe out of Montana State University. So I had a lot of time alone. I isolated myself from the other 14 actors by sitting by myself in the back of the pickup truck in the bed, using my centering prayer that I learned at my Catholic high school to snip through the veils that separated me from my beloved. After returning to Massachusetts, I sought and found books, source, capital S, source, placed on my path. I was blessed also to have prana awakened Hatha and Kundalini yoga teachers in 1981 at UMass in Amherst. One I've talked about. He's my pantomime teacher in the theater department. And the other was a yogi in the Sikh tradition from a small community nearby who took me under his wing. I also needed an education, so I engaged my head. I needed to discover who I was, what I had become, and if there were any people like me, so I read books and studied. I felt deeply connected with nature and people's hearts, so I engaged my heart. Superficialities bore me. Finding little help in Christianity, I looked to the ancient Eastern teachers for guidance, trusting that if a mystical book has been in print for centuries, in many translations, it must teach valuable wisdom. So I went hunting and slowly read my way through dozens of books. Now, as an aside, just to let you know, my brain is dyslexic, and I learned to read in 7th grade, special needs class. I'm a slow reader and a slow writer, so don't let that stop you. Don't let your limitations get in your way. In my search, I found the four main branches used paperback books that appeared in my path. Now, all four made sense to me. So I became a determined devotee of four main branches of yoga. And after I was ordained in the United Church of Christ, I hid not only my non belief, I am in nowhere not a believer, but also my broad and deep yoga practices by calling them Christian names. Now, given the identical nature of the four main yogas and the traditional mystical practices, it may surprise you to learn how easy it is to change their names. These four yoga practices integrate me and open me as I go about my daily life, connecting the small me to the only me. I share them with you in the hope that maybe you'll discover that you already practice more yogas than you thought. And if not, give you practices that may or will help you grow in your connection to the light in all things, in the here and now, and help you release from the karmic wheel. There are four yogas that I'm talking about. They are karma yoga, or Christian service, raja yoga, or Christian meditation, jnana yoga, Christian theological mysticism. The fourth, bhakti yoga, or Christian devotion. So let's spend a few minutes and compare and understand their spiritual values. My Kriya yoga and centering prayer practices are subsets of the first of the four, Raja Yoga. Now, Raja Yoga and Christian meditation. Raja Yoga, particularly in its emphasis on meditation and the mastery over the mind, which is what this is all about, the Yoga Sutras, the mastery over the mind, parallels Christian mysticism. If you meditate in any form, then you are a Raja Yogi. Christian mystics have long practiced meditation and contemplative prayer, seeking a more profound mystical union with the Creator. Now, for example, the contemplative practices and monastic life share similarities with the meditative and ethical disciplines of Raja Yoga. In Hinduism and Christianity, these practices or paths lead to spiritual growth, self realization, or a close relationship with the divine. The inner aim toward oneness is the underlying principle of devotion, selfless service, contemplation, and internal discipline. Discipline. Raja Yoga is foundational for me. I've said it a bazillion times, talking about Kriya and centering prayer. But the three streams I practice most merge and flow as a single river, each feeding into the other. And the fourth stream I also practice, but a little less as it impacts my life, my heart life. Now, comparing the major Hindu yoga groups with similar Christian practices offers exciting insights into how different spiritual traditions approach identical concepts and practices with, here it is, similar results. Yoga works, and you will advance if you practice. They've accelerated me on my path of the ever deepening connectedness to oneness, my integration process through practical practices. So we have karma yoga, or Christian service. Karma yoga emphasizes selfless action and serving others, here it is, without attachment to the fruits of one's labor. This mirrors the Christian practice of serving others as worship and devotion of God. The little God, the namaste in everybody. In Christianity, acts of charity, kindness, and selflessness They are services and they express faith. They express and grow us in our connection to the divine. I am who is in all around us. As we love each other, as we are kind toward each other, we're kind to ourselves and to the divine. And parents who are both loving and caring, here's an example, practice karma yoga, even if they're not knowing that they are. 1,000 times a year, loving and caring parents set themselves aside and set their own desires aside, wants and needs, sufferings large and small, frustrations and exasperations, and they do all of that for the sake of the children's well-being. That is karma yoga, to set oneself aside. So you can be doing this and not even be a yogi. You might not even know. Charity, kindness, and selfless service can be practiced in public life. As a pastor, I was a professional karma yogi, teaching spiritual growth through service to others directly or by serving organizations that serve others. Karma yoga, like a nonprofit, karma yoga remains part of my interpersonal practice with family, friends, and neighbors. A daily living yoga practice. You're already doing it. I know you are. Jnana yoga and Christian theological mysticism. Knowledge. Jnana yoga focuses on the pursuit of knowledge and the wisdom to understand the true nature of reality. In Christianity, this can be likened to contemplative and theological mystical study, where through experience, through expertise, through expertise, the goal is to understand the history of thinking about God, awakening and enlightenment in the scriptures and elsewhere in the literature, and the nature of the existence from a mystical Christian perspective. That's what all those monks and nuns were doing. They're using their heads. They're reading each other. They're learning. You're doing this already if you're reading mystical books. In Christian mysticism, the works of theologians like St. Thomas Aquinas echo elements of Jnana yoga. Knowledge from the experts helps us understand our own experiences. And that's why I went to divinity school, was to study the experts so I could understand myself. They use reason, intellectual discipline, ethical living, and contemplative practice to study the soul's relationship to the beloved. And Aquinas speaks of the soul's journey toward unity with infinity in oneness. This is what Aquinas is talking about. While Jnana Yoga speaks of realizing the non-duality of Atman, the self, and Brahman. They are the same thing. So I'm a Jnana yogi. And if you're studying, you're a Jnana yogi too. The fourth is Bhakti Yoga and Christian devotion. And it took me a while to figure out that actually I'm a Bhakti yogi too. My devotion, my adoration, and dependence is on and for my ineffable beloved. And why did it take me so long to figure this out? Because the beloved nature of it was overpowering, that I never even thought that there might be a name for it. But there is. It's this devotion and adoration and dependence in Bhakti Yoga. The path of devotion and love towards the personal deity in Hinduism, like Ganesh or Krishna or Shiva, it finds a parallel in the Christian practice of devotion to Jesus. And so when I read this in the first place, I'm like, well, I'm not really devoted to Ganesh or Shiva or Jesus. I'm kind of a Deva. Then it dawned on me. It's not about a person for me. It's about the divine itself. I am a devotee. I am a devotee of the big guru, of the source itself, but not like a devotee who knows everything about everything physical. I'm a devotee of the non-physical. The Christian emphasis on a personal relationship with Jesus, expressing through love, adoration, and dependence, is akin to the devotional practices in Bhakti Yoga. And that's pretty close to what I'm doing too, if you strip away the language stuff around personhood. Bhakti Yoga came back to me with me, and it was the inseparable biggest part of me. So I couldn't imagine that there could be anything comparable in human language or experience to being in one with the divine. But it turns out there's a lot of things that are expressible with metaphor or language, like Bhakti Yoga as a devotion. But it's not like sitting in church, singing. Well, I guess it can be in some ways, but it's much deeper than an externalization of it. It's an internalization of the devotion. And it's not based in knowledge, it's based in direct contact. Now, adoration, attraction, direction, and love combined with the forlornness and the sorrow of deep separation and longing for my beloved drove me into this deeper state of all of these yogas where I needed the support of these four in order to be stabilized in the world. Now, Bhakti Yoga is a gift that came back with me and made access through Raja, Jnana, and Karma yoga practices more accessible. These others, Raja, Jnana, and Karma, enhance this devotee aspect of it, this bhakti aspect of it, this devotion, this aim that has no name and can't be expressed, at least for me. They all combine to let some of me decrease while that power increases. And this is what I wanted to tell you today, is that there are other practices that you can add to your life. If meditation doesn't work for you, or if it works for you and you want more, that will grow your spirituality, that will grow your connection, will empower you. It's like like a four-bladed water wheel with each blade catching the waterfall in succession, around and around and around, each one turning the others, moving the other forward, milling the wheat of the self beneath the granite wheels of life, producing an exquisite and light-filled life. One feeds the other, each karma in succession in my life. Now, here's a secret I kept from my parishioners as a preacher, pastor, and spiritual leader. I taught them karma, raja, jnana, and bhakti yoga as Christian service meditation, theological mysticism, and devotion. Now, if you want to enhance your spiritual life, pick one, or some, or all. Ancient spiritual practices that get passed down through the centuries are effective. That's why we still use them. They work. And I'm living proof. My integration is living proof. My spiritual life is living proof. This energy of the divine that radiates inside of me is living proof. Now, in summary, service, meditation, knowledge, and devotion enable us to love our neighbors and ourselves and the beloved with all of our heart, mind, and soul. And time is a precious commodity in life. And death, not at all. So thanks for spending some of your time with me today. Thanks for your financial support. I work for you and God, but not in that order. I'm available if you want to speak to me at peterpanagore.love. I'd love to help you with your integration. Join us in a few minutes for Mystic Tea Salon. The link is in the show notes. Thanks for joining me this morning here. I'm glad to be back. Had a very good, very successful writing week last week, I think. I'll be hearing from my editor soon to see whether I'm right about that. I've got 2 edits to go through and then a final copy before I submit it. And next Sunday is Christmas. I'm going to be out of state visiting family. I'm going to run a repeat, and I'll see you the following week, the following Sunday, because well, anyway, we could talk about it at Mystic Tea Salon. I'm going to take a look over here and see if there's anybody I need to say hi to. Barbara, Andrew, Quiet Energy. The writing went very well. Hi, Martha. Hick 776. Tom, Cindy. There's a name. Hi, Cindy. You're new, I think. Jen, Kristen, Cindy, Ellen, Charles. Hey, Charles. So was that good? Charles, you said, I hope that was helpful to people. Maybe it was too much information. So in the next 4 weeks, after Christmas, I'm going to break each one of these down, make it easier. So this is sort of an introductory piece, a little bit info. Thanks, Kristen. Good. We'll get into some more of the deeper parts of these in the next 4 weeks, after Christmas, that is. Thank you. Very helpful. Not too much information. Excellent. Thanks, Martha. I don't want to ever overload, but you know how that can be. So anyway, I'll see you at the top of the hour in Mystic Tea Salon, and peace and love to you all. Namaste. Thanks for being here. Amen. Good. See you soon. Peace.